Like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide with trusted information for you to use to make decisions. On your screen is a document on the incidence of poverty in Jamaica from 1989 to 2017. I wrote that, I think it's in 2022, and I want to re-examine that issue. So today I want to look at poverty. And why I want to look at it, because I had a conversation with a good, good friend of mine on Sunday, Sunday, February 2025. And during our conversation, I was saying to her that she needs to change her mindset is a part of her challenge, a part of her problems. And she was trying to justify that nothing is wrong with her mindset and that she's just going through a hard time. And I said to her, have you thought of doing something different? She said yes. During our conversation, somebody actually tapped at her door, and then she went to speak with the person, and I could hear the conversation. And the person called her name and said to her, am I getting the January rent this month? Of course, we were in February, right? Am I getting the January rent this month? And she said end of month, which would be end of February. And then the person said, when am I going to be getting the February rent? And she said about the same time. This friend to which I speak has a master's. And why I'm looking at this topic is because I'm saying there are a number of persons who are working, because she's working, and are struggling. So therefore, I want to look at this relating to poverty, because poverty is said to be that you're unable to afford some basic necessities. And some persons put it as not being able to make $1 per day, but that would not hold in Jamaica. Jamaica's poverty rate is far more than that figure. And if you want a comprehensive view as to this is relating to poverty, you could actually go online and read the material that I have there on your screen. Look at this whole matter relating to poverty in Jamaica, that is. But I'm saying, respect to the definition that they use for poverty, let's look at some realities. And reality now extend beyond Jamaica to just about anywhere in the world. There are clear indications that there are some persons who are not a part of the grid and are poor, unable to afford basic necessities. And then there are some persons who are part of the grid, means a part of the social structure, the economic social structure of the world, as is, and are equal experiencing challenges. There are a number of persons that are working, and at the end of the month, or at the end of the fortnight, which is 2 weeks, or the end of the week, they have a difficulty to return to work and have challenges to pay their bills. Both in the context of poverty, those persons wouldn't be poor. And I am saying, let's really look at this thing relating to poverty. How can you not be poor when after you have been given your pay for the week? I'm using the week here as an exemplar of what I'm discussing. And after you have paid your fare and save for your rent, you may not be able to afford food for more than 2 times for the week. You have a challenge paying fare. You might have to beg to pay fare. You may have to find a man to give you money if you're a female or a woman. Or if you're a male, you may need to find a female or call a friend or some other male to give you money. for basic sustenance. Is that poverty? There are a number of persons in our society who are having serious challenges, and a part of why that is so is because a number of them are staying confined to fear of leaving where they are. Why would you continuously work and all you can do is just afford bus fare or your rent or your basic utilities and having a difficulty maintaining a life after that? Why fear is keeping you in poverty? Why not step out on your own and go and start your own business? You are going to argue that it's difficult starting your own business, but currently you're living in poverty, which is difficult. You're having to borrow from people, borrow from the bank, borrow from loan companies, borrow from loan sharks, and change your morals to life only because you're living into that fear that's keeping you in poverty. Why do you continuously work and you are poor? And poor here is used in the context that you're unable to afford basic things to life and you are employed. This is relating to poverty as extended way beyond just for those persons who are at home or those persons who are working small salaries. A number of persons who are educated, particularly teachers and police officers and nurses, because of the social structure, they live a particular place. And by living into that place, living into that neighborhood, that community, their rent is thus much. When they take their rent out of their salaries and do utilities, many times they have nothing to go by, little or nothing to eat, have difficulty doing things, and that's why they become a part of things that they wouldn't want to do. And why I'm able to tell you is because I was a classroom teacher and had a difficulty surviving after my first week of having gotten paid. I would pay my rent, my light bill, my water rate, and I'm out of money after my first week. And remember, I have 3 more weeks to go. I would normally do extra classes, go to extra places to actually work, just to actually have food and do some basic stuff. So I'm saying this issue relating to poverty has entrapped many people because we are not looking at things for what they are. Meaning, the social structure keeps you into that poverty mindset. You are afraid to take risk, and simultaneously you are suffering and hurting. And you don't know if you are taking those risks, what they would have turned out to be. Poverty is the product of your decisions and indecisions. We have to take the bull by the horn and recognize unless you address issues, unless you defend things for yourselves, nobody will. A part of your poverty is your mind in the matter relating to poverty. You have a mindset to keep you in poverty. You are doing the same things over, and repeatedly and getting the same result and wondering why the results are as they are. We've got to look at this thing relating to poverty. The psychology of poverty is what is actually making many of us poor. We see the physical issues of poverty, but the psychology behind it, we are not seeing it. You are in that mindset, that situation for so long that you keep being in it because you have accepted the psychology behind the poverty. Why not take the risk? Why not take the chance of doing something new? Leave that job. Leave whatever you're doing Go home, sit and think about what your next option is going to be. Try something new. Put in place a business idea. Put in place the resources that you have. And the same interest that you put in your normal work that is keeping you in poverty, put that into a business venture. It is the psychology of the poverty that is creating more poverty for many people. And persons are not seeing that where you are in terms of your comfort zone, recognizing that nothing is happening for you and you are in a state of poverty remains there because of the psychology of fear. Take the bold step, take the bold move, recreate your poverty situation, change your poverty reality, but it begins in the mind. Go out there, do the things that you ought to do to be successful. Understand that a critical part of your success starts in your mind. It is when your mind fails to see things that poverty becomes persistent. Nobody's keeping you in poverty. You are the one keeping yourself in this poverty situation. It is your mind that is crippling you. And I'm saying, let's take a stock of our actions today. Let's change our mindset. Bold like lions and go towards your prey. You may succeed, you may fail, but one thing's for certain that you are not going to stop. You're not going to give in without changing your current state to a better state. What do you have to say? I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your views. The issue must be addressed. We cannot continue doing the same things expecting different results. Many persons are in poverty for years. Their mindset is so confined to this poverty that they rarely see no option out. That in itself is not a mindset. You have got to change the psychology of your mind, the psychology of poverty. You have to understand what your mind is doing to you to keep you, to be retained in that state of poverty. Let me hear what you have to say. Share this one with someone. Let's have a discussion on it. The psychology of poverty is destroying many people. Fear keeps you down so much that you retain many things that could be changed if you had just stepped out of your comfort zone and try something new. Share this video with someone. I want some comments on persons. Do you agree with me that there's a psychology of poverty that keeps people in poverty? Or do you think poverty is an external reality to which you cannot come out of? And if you think you cannot come out of it, that indicates a mindset. Let me hear your thoughts.